Praise be Jesus and Mary.
Now and forever.
Saint Angela Merici was born in 1474 in northern Italy and then died in 1540. And as a young lady, she was inspired by God's grace to consecrate herself to Him. She did so. Although she remained in the world, she was dedicated to the things of God, to the work of God in the world. She became a member of the Franciscan Third Order and performed the corporal, spiritual works of mercy, led a life of intense prayer, virtue, and was working out her salvation and sanctification again in the world, doing the work of God. Towards the end of her life in 1535, she founded this community of women who, like her, wanted to serve God, doing the works of mercy in the world. This community was put under the patronage of St. Ursula, and for the last 5 years, under the guidance of St. Angela, they dedicated themselves, for the most part, principally to the education of young girls. St. Angela herself was left an orphan at the age of 10, around then, and she knew how difficult it was to be raised without the help of parents, so she, again, dedicated herself to helping young girls who were in danger in many ways, and imparted to them an education, not only of the intellect, but also of the heart, an education of the mind, but also an education to Christian virtue. After her, the community survived and flourishes until this very day and has that mission still, of educating young girls in the faith and in virtue. Now, she was canonized in 1807 by Pius VII, and then Pius IX in 1861 extended her feast day to the entire church, and in doing so, Pius the Ninth, Blessed Pius IX, in the decree in which again he extends the feast to the whole church, expressed a wish. He said, in issuing the decree, that he wished to put under her maternal protection the young girls who are nowadays exposed to such fearful dangers by the enemies of Christ and His church. And these enemies have formed a project of undermining the faith of women so that their good influence may be destroyed in their families. Now, that there is a project of undermining the faith of women, let's just take that for granted that it's obvious. And what is this project? Well, I like to use a gospel parable, a gospel example to illustrate the goal of this project, this impious project. It is the project of convincing women that they should throw their pearls to swine, let themselves be trampled underfoot and torn to pieces, and that emancipates them, that empowers them, that gives them equal dignity with men. As crazy as this sounds, it's actually very successful, and many women are falling for this lie. To take their dignity, their special dignity as women, again, to throw it before swine who won't appreciate it, obviously, trample it underfoot and tear them to pieces. Now, what is the response to that impious plan of the enemies of the church? Well, if the plan is to undermine the faith, especially of women, faith in their dignity, faith in God's plan, faith in God's providence, the response is an exercise of faith. In all Christian institutions, in Christian Catholic parishes, Catholic youth groups, Catholic schools, Catholic families, an exercise of faith that, yes, we have a special dignity. Women have a very special dignity and role in society and family and the church. A faith that will allow women to appreciate, again, their dignity, the value of, again, to use this gospel expression, of the pearls they possess, and an exercise of faith in exercising the virtue that it takes to protect that dignity. A trust in God that it's the exercise of Christian virtue that empowers, frees, ennobles, and gives us dignity. So let's pray for that. Let's work for that, each one of us in his own sphere of influence. To counteract that impious project of the enemies of the church. Dom Prosper Guéranger, from whom I was quoting, in his book, The Liturgical Year, ends with a prayer to St. Angela. He says, "Disconcert these impious plans, O Angela, protect thy sex, nourish within it the sentiment of the dignity of Christian woman, and society may still be saved." May St. Angela Merici intercede for us. Praised be Jesus and Mary.